Okay. Well, good evening, folks. Thanks everybody for dropping in and taking the time to further your referee education. So this evening we are kicking off the theme for Team 3's 2020 season, which is win-win. Those of you who were at our tournament with us a couple weeks ago got a little introduction to this, figuring out what win-win means to us. So when I say win-win, why don't you go ahead and tell me, in the context of refereeing, what does that mean to each of you? Not everybody at once.
Okay, so a win-win, I guess, for myself is, sorry, you don't have the video on, is, where we still are in control of the game, and the coaches and the teams feel like they're still part of the game, and where the spectators, which are part of the coaches and the teams, also feel like they have input, but they're getting a fair shake at it too. So sometimes we may have to allow someone to vent. A perfect example was last weekend, where a parent was told to leave the field, and I happened to be the center ref at the time, and there's a little heated argument maybe between the AR and the parent, and I just kind of allowed it to happen, and the parent went off to another way and ended up talking to him after the game. I could have easily went over there and said, "You're wrong," and all this other stuff. But I just kind of I just felt like they just needed to blow off a little bit of steam. And at the end of the game, they're totally good with it. And so I feel that we didn't slow the progress of the game. We didn't stop the game. We didn't get into an argument. We didn't leave with any bad feelings. And even though I mentioned something to him and I said, "I apologize for this or that," and it just felt a lot easier to allow them to blow off a little bit of steam, and then it just ended. And so I felt like that was a win-win situation.
Okay. Yeah. So to summarize what you said, the referee has control, but the coaches, the teams, the players, spectators feel like they have some input in the process. All right. Thank you. Does somebody else want to throw out their input? Oh, Keith, you're silent now. You're not muted. Maybe you can get somebody with a tech background to help you out. How about Chandler?
Okay. For me, I think a win-win situation is if I can get the respect of the players and I can get respect from the players. That way we both win, we're both showing respect. And another way could be as a team, we ref a quality game and the players feel like they got a quality game from us, and I can learn from the game as a team that we called, and the players, hopefully they're happy with the refereeing that they received. I think those are two win-win situations.
Okay. Yeah. So I hear from the start, you said that people feel respected, and the players are happy with the refereeing that they received.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I want to pull out an answer from at least one more person.
I thought I might drop out and try to come back in. Nope. Any better?
Yeah, we can hear you.
System settings all said they were working, but wasn't working. Yeah, what Chandler said. Oh wait, I dropped off in the middle. No, I think that both Chandler and David kind of encapsulate. There are win-win situations during the game, right, where you can where you're working with players on the field, where they may be starting to get to a point where there could be issues with you managing them, and can you work with them to keep them in the game, and keep you from having to do paperwork, but also keep you from having to deal with a situation that gets out of hand. Same with a coach. If you can have a word or a look or something that helps the coach understand what you expect from them, you can do that before the game, where you kind of set the expectations. I think one. I will say that I think, and Cindy, we can talk about this, but we had a situation in Pot of Gold where we had 3 coaches. And I think if we had, I don't think the issue with the one who finally had an issue and had to be sent was because he was thinking he was a coach. But, sometimes you'll get at the beginning of the game that you'll ask, who are your coaches? Oh, well, the 3 of us are, or the 4 of us are. And I think putting down a marker right there and getting understanding, rather than leaving it like I think, sometimes you go, well, they said he wasn't the coach, so we lined him out. But I think that maybe getting a very clear understanding of that prior to the game starting, so there's no question of what your expectations are and what they need, and how they need to behave themselves on the touchline. I have that happen a lot at tournaments, and especially section, where we have three coaches in our region. But it's basically setting the expectation, I think, right at the beginning, and then during the game, before you have to take some radical action. And that's like sending a player off or sending a parent off or something. So I think those are win-wins.
Yeah. So Keith is having win-wins, is setting the tone, being proactive. All right. Well, thanks everybody. So that we have the same definition, I think we're all talking about different manifestations of win-win. For me, the win-win is understanding the referee team's goal, understanding the players' goals, understanding the coaches' goals, the spectators' goals, and seeing if there's some way to meet all of those. Now, sometimes we have to dig a little deeper down, because if the player's goal is to win, well, really we have to say, okay, but what's maybe a more fundamental goal for them, that they have a good time, that they feel safe. So focusing on those goals, what everybody wants, can help us get to that win-win state. So that being said, what are some of those fundamental goals that everybody on the field would like to see accomplished?
Safety.
Safety.
Safety's one.
Interesting. It's almost like Keith knows what's coming.
Fairness.
I actually forgot.
Fairness might be the other one.
Robert, he's read ahead. All right, someone's got to be able to get this last one.
It might be like fun.
And boring.
Fun.
No?
All right.
Is that? Oh man, I almost said it.
Everybody has
boring.
sipped the AYSO Kool-Aid, right? Great. So safe, fair, fun. It comes back to that, not just because we're drinking the Kool-Aid, but who's happy on the field when the players aren't safe? Okay.
I don't think there's anybody happy with that's going on. I don't think there are not very many happy folks if it's not safe.
Yeah. Yeah. What makes the players feel safe? What makes the coaches and the spectators believe players are safe?
I think there's a couple things,
Yeah, go ahead.
just a couple of things. When there are rough fouls happening, that the referee sees them and makes the right call. And secondly, if a player is truly injured, not slightly injured, if they're truly injured, that a referee responds appropriately and does make that the most important thing that's going on at that moment.
Yeah, okay. Great. The referee recognizes what matters with the fouls, with the injuries, showing some empathy there. All right. Someone have
Even when there's things that are I think when they're not rough fouls. Okay, so keeper collects the ball, and it's a close play with the attacker, and they run right up into the keeper, and maybe they even pull up short. Just noticing that that's a potential conflict, maybe saying something to them so people see that you notice that could be a collision. When there are just to see you managing the players, not necessarily with a call or with a caution, but with a word and noticing. You can see a player doesn't go down sometimes. Like you'll see a player get hit with the ball kind of hard. They stay up, and then you can see them. Then you run by and you check on them. Hey, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Just so you are aware of those situations and showing that you notice even the situations that may not result in a foul or a stoppage of play. I think that's also a way you can show that you're aware and understanding of the safety of the players.
Okay, great. Yeah. I think we've got a good understanding of the fundamental need of safety. Let's talk about fair. What shows the players, the coaches, the spectators that things are fair? Is it when you call it both ways?
If that's required, go ahead.
Right.
I think people observe fairness when the referee is not influenced by shouts from the coach or the spectators. I think they feel fairness when they don't feel that they're being influenced by others.
Okay, yeah. The
I would-
referee
Oh.
isn't swayed by outside input. Go ahead.
I would say you have an equal threshold for what is a foul, what you're calling in the game.
So consistent criteria. Okay, consistency.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things is, having a kid in sports and stuff like that. Whether the referee or umpire, whatever sport it is. I mean, if you're equal across the way, and I always say, hey, if you're not going to call that equally bad both ways, who cares? I'd rather have someone be equal across the board than just be one-sided. And I guess that's probably, although sometimes as a spectator or a parent, you feel that it's, always on the other side. But again, as long as you're equally bad referee or an equally bad umpire, whatever sport you're in, as long as it's equal, it seems fair.
As long as you're equally bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we've
I
all
got a
heard
kid-
that. Go ahead.
I said, I got a kid in basketball, and trust me, there's some equally bad. All right, just let them play.
Yeah, we've all heard you didn't call that one over there, but now you call it on us. We've all heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we got a good understanding of fair and the perception of fair. Keith, you got one last thing?
No, I'm just going to say, that's also, I mean, that kind of is a tough time jibing with, hey, don't get swayed by the plaints of the coach. And, and the spectators, because we've all heard also the other thing, which is call it both ways, or do this, or why didn't you call that, or how come you called so many more fouls on my team, and that always amuses me, because it's like, oh, very simple. Your team fouled a lot more. Does that
Yes.
help? Right? does that help? Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have nothing more for you. But it's that look, teams, spectators, players all have a dog in the fight, right?
Mhm.
They are invested in it, and you as a referee are invested in making good calls and
Definitely.
managing the game properly. So that
Yeah.
can bite you. You don't want to do, oh, I missed a call over there. I'm gonna make a different call over here that I wouldn't make, because gosh, they're
Mhm.
mad about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does not win you points, unfortunately. So but you're gonna get it either way, right? I mean, so it's kind of unfortunately, that's a lose-lose when it gets there. So, you just have to call the game to the best of your ability
Yeah,
each time.
I like that Chandler mentioned having a consistent threshold, because we can't control the number of offenses that occur. We can't fabricate. Well, I mean, we've seen the fabrication of calls, and it's generally quite transparent. But where we can go right is the threshold. Yeah. So with that, let's move on to fun. And safe is the most fundamental need. Fair is next, and then fun is a tertiary goal. So how do we know that the players, the spectators, the coaches are having fun? Oh, go ahead.
Hopefully they're smiling in a good mood. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, you guys can just pop up. It's a
Yeah.
focused discussion, not a class.
I think when when there's a lot of cheering and not a lot of complaining going on, it's a good feeling.
Oh, yeah.
People are happy. I can still be calling fouls on occasion if it's warranted, but people are not complaining, and there's a lot of cheering going on. Maybe there's a shot or two that are taken and a great save, and and then we go the other way and same thing, and it's just wonderful when we're in that space.
Hmm.
It's
Definitely.
kind of fun for everybody, I think.
If the players are actively and consistently participating in play, like if we have a game that's 6-0, 7-0, and the losing team is just and they don't want to be there anymore, they're not having fun. That's one thing that we have out here a lot, and it's hard to deal with that.
Yeah, that's when you got to start making calls to even it up, right?
Right.
To get some penalties for the other team, so they get a few goals here and there.
Yeah.
Did I mishear that, or no? I mean, no. I mean, it's true, and it's it's tough to kind of keep that light when it's going that way, right? That's a tough one.
I think sometimes, interacting with the coaches, even on the losing team, they kind of can dictate some of that funness, right? You got a real on edge coach, and that takes away a lot of fun, whether they're winning or losing. So if you can cooperate and kind of tone down that coach, I mean, I've had games where I've had losing coaches are very happy and they're having a great time, and they're not upset about it. And it's because you were fair and you were safe. And so it kind of all, comes together there. And even though they're losing, they're still having fun with their kids. And that's probably the most important thing. And then there's the opposite where the coach is so irate and that might become because you didn't help control the game or do any of that stuff. And so it doesn't seem fair. And it correlates to that. And so no one's having fun when the coaches or the parents are irate. And so I guess that comes back down to where Keith was saying is set the expectations at the beginning and hopefully it'll work out.
Yeah, okay. Can the game be fun without being safe and fair?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. Like, you got to keep the game fun by taking the appropriate actions when you have like for different type of fouls, whether it needs to be cautioned or even sent off. Because I know as a player, you know, a long time ago, I had games where it's like I thought the game was out of control and the referee wasn't doing anything about it. And at a certain point, it's like, what's the point in playing hard if I'm just gonna get fouled and nothing's gonna come about of it? And then I'm not having fun anymore. So I bring that mindset of what I learned from playing into refereeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
So it's
think,
important. Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing that I think is important for everybody to have fun is for the referee to remember to smile and let everybody else know that they're enjoying being there and they're enjoying the game. And I think that helps the players have fun as well.
We had a theme a few seasons ago of refereeing with personality, and we have plenty of videos out on that. So that might be a good one to look at on that vein. So we have to understand that fun is built on the foundation of safety and of fairness, and fun's really what keeps people coming back to the game. You know, if they're like, no one says, I want to do that again. That was such a safe experience. I want to do that again. That was such a fair time. You know, those are things we need, but that's not what keeps us coming back. So if we can get the fun in there, which requires safety and fairness, we can get the fun in there, then we'll get people coming back more. And as you referee more and more tournaments, you'll realize the same teams are on the circuit, and you start getting the kids saying, hey, it's you again. All right, that was a great game 2 weekends ago. That's the goal. So what we have right here is a very customer-oriented objective. What are our customers?
Who are they?
Who are our customers? Yeah. And I'm going to, I see Daniel's been muted the whole time, but he's unmuted now. So I'm going to give Daniel the opportunity to answer this.
Well, to me, the customers are the players.
All right. Any other customers?
They're secondary to me.
This is true. I would agree that the players are our primary customers. What are some of our secondary customers?
In a sense, the parents.
Mhm.
Because they're the ones that are kind of behind the players, and they're the ones that kind of set the tone often for the players. Because, you know, when the parents at the end of the game, right, they go back to their parents. Especially for the younger ones. So to me, that's part of it too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Can anybody else think of any customers? Thank you, Daniel.
I had a question later though, but I'll hold it.
Okay. Someone throw out one more customer for me.
How about a coach?
Can't forget our favorite people out there.
Coaches
are our customers.
The league.
The league.
Integrity.
That's kind of a balance. I had something to say about one of the games at Pot of Gold, and who's the customer there? Is the tournament the customer? Are the referees as volunteers the customer? Anyway, it's the whole thing I don't want to get into. Those of you who heard it got my take on it.
So one of the things you said, like, and I think Cindy raised it, and I got this laugh. I got a laugh, and it's consistently a good one. So, when to keep it fun, and especially for the players, and the spectators seem to think it's funny too. But so you get a lot of times, the ball will roll out kind of parallel to the line and rolls down the line like 10 or 20 yards. Player runs after it, picks it up, tries to throw it in at the spot where they picked it up, right? And I just think it's funny for me. So I'll just, anyway, blow the whistle. I'm like, hey, bring it back, right? You got to bring it back about 15, 20 yards. And then I go, but I respect you for trying. Like, I wouldn't respect you if you didn't try to do that. And that usually gets a good laugh from them and the player and the coach and the spectators. So I think if you can find some like little humor, and with the players too, when you see, and Cindy, I've heard her do this many times during games and I do it because I admire when a player makes a good play. And even if it doesn't work out, if you can find a moment to compliment a player or to compliment their team's effort or whatever, I think that buys you a lot. And you're helping your customer, enjoy the effort they're putting in out there. So that's, and for a coach too, when you see them, do something where you'll say, I think we had something happen in our region last year where a kid got a goal scored on him, 16U game, and he got so distraught he left the game. He just left the game in the middle of it. Now, could he have been cautioned? Yes. David Praver was doing the game and somebody else, and they let him go. They spoke to the coach, and he said credit to coach, and they spoke to the coach after he went over. This kid was upset about something that had happened in his own life, and then that happened. He felt he let his team down. The coach went over and sat with him for the entire last quarter of the game, just talking to him, helping him. And they said that was great of that coach to go do that. And they mentioned it to him. They said, Coach, that's fantastic. Thank you for helping that kid out. Anyway, I think when you see something that's notable and you can comment on it and reinforce it, that really helps everybody enjoy it. So
Yeah, and there was a perfect example of a win-win. The referee understood that the card was going to accomplish no good there. And yeah, great awareness. So, all right. So we need to be mindful of our customers out there. So what tools do we have? And we have videos coming. All right, we're getting close to the videos. I'm mindful of the time because I want to make sure we get through all our videos. What tools do we have to ensure that we can accomplish this win-win situation, have a safe, fair, fun game for all involved? Throw them out there.
We have a whistle.
Look at that. You've read ahead.
No, but I mean, quite simply, that's what we have. I mean, we have our presence, we have our whistle, we have our
presence.
knowledge.
Presence, body language, I'll give it to you.
Personality.
Some of us have personality, yes.
I'm trying to learn from Chandler.
I can only pull these up in order. Keep throwing out some tools we have. Voices, yes.
You have your uniform, obviously.
Yes.
And that's part of your professional look, right?
Your demeanor.
I think, Lewis, you and I were laughing last weekend or 2 weekends ago about Corona hats and the semaphore double flag AR. That was kind of funny. So that probably wasn't the appropriate tools.
2 flags at once. Lovely.
Well, that is a tool. Your flag.
Yes.
Your 2
I actually
flags.
didn't put that on this list. This is kind of a tough one to get. Awareness. So awareness is knowing what's going on. knowing what our customers want, knowing that we even have customers that say fair fun matters. That's important. That's a tool. And then voice was thrown out there. Here, give me another tool that we don't want to use, but we have.
Cards.
Uh-huh. Oh, look, I did put flags up there. I forgot about that. All right. And then actually presence was mentioned. So plenty of tools, and not just plenty of tools, but plenty of ways to use those tools. You can whistle hard, long, you can whistle short, soft. Your cards can be used sparingly, your cards can be used excessively, your flags can be used clearly, all sorts of things. There's another key tool that I want to bring up, and everyone who's sipped the AYSO Kool-Aid will recognize this. What is this? I want somebody who's not a certified instructor to answer that.
The AYSO triangle.
The AYSO triangle. Thank you, Robert. So, someone mentioned earlier that they thought the parents were very key influences on fun. And that's why they're the foundation of the triangle, that they spend the most time with the kids. Now, the coaches get the second most time with the kids, and the referees get the least. But we all come together to build this experience for primarily the kids. The certified instructors can answer this real quickly. What is AYSO? What's a mission statement? You all don't have this tattooed across your chest already? I know someone here is going to know it. Give me the first few words. You got to unmute first.
Yeah, to develop, God, I always mess it up, but
To provide
develop quality
world-class youth soccer programs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about child development
yes,
through world-class youth soccer programs. All right. So
right.
the
Well,
triangle
yeah.
is our tool there.
That's the, yeah.
Okay. I think that's emphasized more heavily in the national coach track than the national referee track.
Well, it's a requirement. You can't pass the national coach course if you can't recite that by heart. To
Which is
provide
why I knew.
world-class youth soccer programs, to develop players in an environment that
In a family-friendly, fun environment, right?
through the
It's
sixth philosophy of AYSO.
right.
Yeah.
I always get the mission and vision statement mixed up. That's why I didn't jump in there.
Yeah. All right. So we have a pretty clear understanding of what it means to create a win-win situation, whether that's making someone feel heard, whether that's de-escalating, whether that's handling a tough situation in a calm but controlled way. Okay. Should we look at some videos on how to put all these tools, all this understanding to the test? All right. So we will kick off here. Let's kick off with the coach right away. So, what did the referee do here to create a win-win situation?
He didn't, well, He remained calm.
Mhm.
There, I'll give you that. I'll give that as an issue. He remained calm.
Yeah, we can see him calmly walking over. What's the first thing he did?
Well, sorry, I don't want to answer it all. Come on, guys, what did he do? He held up his whistle and said, he talked to the
Stop
player
play.
and said, hang on, wait for my whistle. He was very clear about the restart. Don't take a free kick. I'm going away. So he indicated to the player, hey, hang on, wait for me. And
Yeah,
then
and
he's,
do we see how he also does this, giving the coach some time to blow off steam? That's a pretty masterful move.
that's what I meant about he remained calm and he remained slow. He did not jog over. He slowly walks over.
Yeah. All right. So he makes sure the game's under control, gives the coach time to blow off some steam, walks over calmly. What does he do next to keep the win-win going? Anybody?
Stand side by side
Yeah.
Yeah, side by side
and
without
Body
listen.
language.
opponents.
Listened.
Listen.
And why is it so important for him to listen there? Do you think he doesn't already know what the coach wants out of that situation?
So by listening, you allow the other person to voice their opinion and or concerned, and it allows them to get that out. And it shows that if you truly listen, and then you can paraphrase back to them, they feel like they've got their point across and you understand them. Although you may agree or disagree with the way they feel, it doesn't matter. That's your choice, but at least they got their point in.
Yes. Yeah, he gave the coach an opportunity to feel heard. And how much did he actually have to say? Very little, right? There is no confusion in this situation as to who has all the real power, all the hard power. The coach may have soft power over the game, but if the referee decides the coach is gone, that's final. The coach can't decide the same for the referee.
Right. It shows, I will say I hearken back to a Team 3 session that we had several years ago where we had Cindy and, oh my goodness, now I can't remember his name. He is a national coach as well, who came to address the group. And one of the
Alan
first
Meter.
things, and it wasn't Alan. It wasn't
It was-
Alan.
It was Ron Gayward.
Oh, okay.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I remember one of the things that was said in that meeting was, if you don't, first of all, coaches want to be heard. They want to be listened, right? They want you to listen to them. They want to be heard. And secondly, if you do not start, now this is the beginning of the game, but even here, if you don't show me respect, then you're not going to get respect back, right? So it looks, Victor here is being very respectful, I believe. I mean, at least he's giving the illusion of his respect. And that's all that matters. Perception is reality here. I mean, he went over, he listened. He's not going to change anything. He wants the coach to exhibit better behavior. And, he goes over there and listens to him. And, you're not going to go shout down the coach, or you can try that. That's not going to work out for you. I can tell you that from previous experience. So you want to, I think that's a huge part of this. And he's adopted, his body language is non-confrontational and he's listening.
Yeah. And He's able to do that very calmly. He doesn't need to show off that he's got the power. And the coach still has some more to say. So normally we teach this in the advanced course. You get a verbal contract, you walk away with a handshake. Does this coach look like he was really open to that? Probably not. So Victor may not have exercised that option, but he might have identified in this situation. Maybe I don't need to force that out of him because this coach clearly still has something to say. He got the words out, and then he's like, okay, I can calm down now, and he heads back, finds his shape, and then we get the game going again. So the coach was at least given the opportunity to be heard and to keep the game going. So let's take a look at another clip. What did this one? Let's get you some audio. Who was talking about the referee understanding injured players earlier? Was that Robert? Why don't we get your take on the win-wins that the referee accomplishes here?
Well, it appears the referee obviously he recognizes the player is truly hurt and calls the coach over, to attend to the player, steps aside, doesn't stay really close and involved, just lets the coach attend to his player and gathers the ball and just, is there to watch to see, how it's going to turn out before he can start the game again.
Yeah, definitely. And I would add that the referee quickly identifies whether the coach is needed, right? He's there and I'm not doing anything here, but figuring out if the coach is coming. And then, he moves on, gets the game under control, gets the ball. And as you touched on, gives that coach space because coaches are rarely happy when their players get injured. So he gives that coach some space rather than getting in the coach's face and giving the coach that opportunity to mouth off, to vent some frustration. He backs off a bit. All right, that was a nice quick one. Okay, you want to see some fouls now? Those are the more exciting ones normally. Okay, so not your average foul. How does the referee create a win-win with this little glimpse that we get?
Presence.
Presence is there. You see how he quickly understands to move from 10, 15 yards away until when he blows the whistle, he's right there. He is right on top of the situation. He's almost between the two players. Presence is valuable there. What else does he do?
Strong whistle.
Yes, strong whistle.
Immediately
Firm-
signals
Firm
direction.
signals.
Firm, clear signals. And he keeps a calm head about himself, right?
Yep.
He doesn't jump on the
Though
cards right away.
Yeah, though I think that's more of like a maybe a 60 degree where his arm is. No, I'm just kidding. Plus, that should be a flagrant one. You might want to look at the replay. But no, I mean, I think he's there. He's very clear about the signal. He's crisp with the whistle. He's right, right there with the players. So there's no idea of some kind of extracurricular activity.
And because it already happened, right?
But you
There
could
was
see
already
you could see a possible retaliation if that
Yeah.
from yellow.
Red takes 2 shots at it. Kudos to yellow, but
Right.
red takes 2 shots at it. This, which was no chance to play the ball, and then kicks her while still on the ground. And thankfully for this referee, you're just so thankful when it's just outside the penalty area. You don't have to call PK for it. So yeah, a lot of great
I
management.
think his looking at the players there and making sure he assesses what they need at that point is real important too.
Yeah. And you can kind of tell, the clip ends right here, but you can kind of tell that Six got what she needed. She took her 2 shots and she's feeling better about it now. And again, kudos to Yellow. She is very cool-headed about all of this. And she looks at the referee. You can see this right here. Great moment. She looks up at the referee, and then rather than, seeing that he's present, rather than feeling the need to look back at number 6 and say or do something, she just rolls forward. All right, we're getting on with it. So good proactive positioning and management from the referee there. All right, let's go to Santa Barbara for a little more of a foul. Okay. A little frustration again on this foul. Who wants to take this one? I saw Chandler raise his hand.
Yeah. He's close to play, and that strong whistle really helps his case to hopefully calm the head of, what is it, number 40, whatever, relax in a sense. And then he's right there. That's what, 3 yards, assuming they get up, and that helps his case out, and it helps hopefully it not escalating.
Yeah, because there are warning signs already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at number 40. He forgets about the ball, which is kind of an important part of soccer. He goes away from the ball to send his message. And then in this case, we don't have the same reaction that Yellow 8 had in the previous clip, right? What's this body language from Red tell us here? What do you see in Chandler? Let me stretch it out a bit.
Red's ready for something else to happen.
You see the chest come up, right?
Right. So that's
His focus. Go ahead.
The referee being in the position that he is helps that not to happen, or at least that's what I presume that it didn't happen.
Yeah. So the referee is identifying an inflammatory situation and getting involved. I've noticed all the clips so far have been youth referees. All right, another one from the same field. All right. Pretty simple situation, but who can tell me how to make this simple situation into a win-win? Robert, I see you're off mute.
That's a mistake.
I'll get Daniel on the next one.
I really, yeah, I don't have. I'm not certain what to say in this situation, quite frankly.
So you've called a
Pretty
PK.
straightforward.
What's that?
It seems pretty straightforward what was going on.
Yeah. But have you seen anyone mess up a PK?
No.
If not, you need to watch more soccer.
Oh, I mean, if the goalkeeper is walking out and taunting the player that's about to take the shot, that's, you know, that can be a big problem. Like in the World Cup, there were actually,
Well,
I don't know though, in youth soccer, I've usually seen things go fairly routine so far. I don't have your experience though.
Well, what are you feeling when you call a PK? What are you going through?
Right now at my stage in my career as a referee, I'm basically just slowing everything down, kind of watching the players, making sure that you know, they're in the right positions. I guess I've been really lucky because I haven't had any bad situations ever, you know.
Lucky, or you've been doing a good job of it?
I like to
well,
think that
there,
too. I like to think that as well, but
but there's a lot of dynamics with a PK, right? I mean, first you can have upset players if you don't you know, get in there and you know, when it's called, and make sure that there's no arguments between players or players coming up to you. You can also have players encroaching, or hey, he's clearly here, he knows these are older players, they understand their positioning, he doesn't have to go. But maybe with younger players, you might have to remind them, hey, stay on your touch line, you know, stay on the goal line, hey, everybody out of the area. He clearly does that. He walks around, he tells them very quickly, hey, make sure you're out. Then he takes up a really good position to be able to monitor the encroachment of the incoming players. I mean, he's again very calm, and he's setting himself up for success here. But you know, we don't see the any kind of you know, right after the penalty call piece. But this time he's making sure everybody, there's no misunderstanding. Hey, everybody out. Okay. Right. And then he executes the penalty kick. Now, was there encroachment? I don't know.
Where's the AR?
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Where's
yeah,
the
Yeah.
AR?
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't see the
You guys spot that. Well done.
Yeah, I did. You know, I
Yeah,
was
so
wondering, did he not tell
Where's
him to
this
come in?
assistance? I mean, you guys are a team, or we're supposed to be a team.
yeah,
maybe there's
You-
no AR in this game. I mean,
there's an AR. You guys caught it. So okay. Usually what the
sometimes they don't want
referee is
the.
feeling when they call a PK, your adrenaline goes up, right? Your heart starts racing. You know it's a critical moment. And I especially like how calm this referee is. And he's just procedural about it. You know, you don't need to tell them that they did that. You don't need to feed that adrenaline back into the game. If anything, the game needs you to be calm and procedural right there so they can focus on, all right, keeper, you understand you're moving when the ball's kicked. Kicker, wait for my whistle. Everyone stay outside of the area until the ball moves, please. And then he steps back and he keeps an eye on everything that he needs to keep an eye on there. So thank goodness that Robert has never seen a bad PK. So
I don't know if that's good or bad, but one thing I did recognize after Keith mentioned these words, and you too, is in the last PK I called, actually Sunday, there was some talk back from the defender, but it just worked this way for me. I just naturally, I didn't respond to the talk back at all.
yeah, you just recognized it's a heated situation. They might need to blow off some frustration that they gave up a PK and get procedural about it, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, I did notice I always do make sure that my AR is in the right spot before anything proceeds.
Yeah, you guys caught that. I was hoping I'd slip that by you. All right. I said I was going to get you on this one, Daniel. So I'll want your feedback on this. All right. So how did we get a
I was-
win-win here?
I was in a bad position. I couldn't actually see the foul. I was screened by a player. That was my.
I'll try to run with the camera more. Yeah. The challenge comes out of the dark. Go ahead, Daniel. Tell me what you see that you like here.
I saw the green player going after the ball, and then all of a sudden the ball turned into a red player.
Magic. And how did the referee handle it?
He's right. Well, he's coming in from the left. I assume he blew a whistle. And then he signaled.
Yeah, he blew his whistle.
But I noticed he was kind of facing a different direction than where the two players that are involved are.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the other clips that you showed, where the referee was kind of where the players were.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the green player takes this remarkably well, right? He just gets up and go. He doesn't bat an eyelash at being surprised by the ball turning into a red player, as you put it. So the green player is saying, I was on the receiving end of this, and I'm going to get back to playing soccer. Fantastic. If only they could all do that. And so the referee, what is the referee looking at? You notice that the referee's looking away. What's he looking at, Daniel?
I'm not sure. There's another player that was kind of there's a player that was looking back at the referee. I wasn't sure what he's looking at.
All right, help me out, folks. I'm looking for 3 words here. What are we seeing the referee do? Because he got to the spot. He knew what happened.
At least looking at the AR, I'm not sure.
Chandler's counting it out.
Is there advantage?
Wait and see
Oh,
if there's advantage. So the referee is looking at the ball, looking at where play goes. And who gets the ball? Who gets the ball? He's trying to decide. And I think it looks like it's going out for a throw-in because you can see the red 21 start to slow down as if the ball is not accessible anymore. So the referee says, you know what? The better advantage is right here, this free kick. So the referee identifies a very hard foul, and you can see this red player comes in back first, braced for the attack, sticks the hip out. You see this red player is facing away from the player that's receiving that charge. That's a pretty hard charge. And the referee's on top of it. And you can see he's staying there. He's thinking. And okay, I'm going to bring it back here. So the referee was aware that the green player had the maturity to not need an immediate whistle and to not need management right away. So it's a pretty nice win-win to see from this referee. Thank you, Daniel. All right.
I didn't see most of that.
What's that?
But thank you. I didn't see most of that.
Yeah. With practice, you'll also find I like some clips a lot and reuse them. All right, who are we going to pick for this one? We haven't had a referee over 20 yet.
Yeah, because you're ageist, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's a different discussion. All right, let's go down the list. I've had Keith answer one. Cindy, I haven't had you answer one of these yet. So walk me through the win-wins that you see the referee execute here.
I see the referee carefully gathering information as he sees he's needed. He approaches, then slows down as he sees the situation isn't escalating to project calmness and make sure the player isn't going to react and is safe, everything's good. Then he goes and handles the player who committed the foul to address the situation.
Yeah. You gotta love the maturity of the players in these clips, huh? They just make it so easy. Not that the referees aren't doing a great job on their own. Right? Two players of green come over and say, are you okay? I understand what happened there. I want to acknowledge that.
So the referee doesn't have to come in hot. He was prepared to, but he didn't have to, so he made the adjustment.
Yes. He was very much prepared to handle this, which is great. He gets there. And as you said, gathers the information. Do you think he got out of this situation without a card?
It looks like he has a card in his hand, but being that the video is not all that high quality, I can't tell.
Yeah, it does look like he
card.
has a card in his hand.
But he waits until the situation is cooled down, separates the player, and then has a calm discussion with them.
Yeah.
I don't see the AR indicating anything about caution or anything for him.
I think he might have a yellow whistle in his hand, actually.
Yeah, I would say that, boy, that's it's interesting the behavior change he gets out of the player as he gets there, and the player thinks really quickly, ooh, I better go over and say, hey, are you okay? Watch him walk away at first, and he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. And then the ref's there, and then he goes, oh yeah, maybe I better go check. Yeah, see how I'm checking? Yeah, please don't give me a caution.
And taking that time to gather that information allows the player to do something good.
Yes, it does.
I will also watch the AR here. So do you see how quickly he switches to the correct hand here? It's very automatic, and that's great to see. And then he's managing the touch line because this is white and red's touch line. And then look, he steps a little closer to manage, and then nothing needs to happen, and so starts walking away. So kudos to the AR.
I'm just saying he stepped on the field, and that was not okay.
He did.
So.
Okay, I've got one
That's
clip
great.
left. Okay, Cindy cannot answer on this one. So let's see. We had Robert take one. We had Keith. David, did I have you take one? You might be the only one left.
Oh, I've answered a few,
Okay. All right.
but I don't mind.
Go
I
ahead.
don't mind seeing the video. I don't.
What's the win-win you see here? And that's not wind because we're Camarillo in the afternoon and just look at that tent go.
Yeah.
Have you given a red card, David?
I have not.
Good.
So I apparently there's a card given, and maybe it's just because I'm on my phone that I have a small screen, so I can't really dictate the clarity of it there. So, but
Uh,
if it was a red card and the send off was given, it really appears like the player cooperated with that and understood what they did, but the referee didn't keep digging it in. And you just do your thing, you give it, you turn around and you continue on with the game and not get into it's not a match between you and the player. It's you notice the offense, you gave it, move on and get the game going. And I think that's where this referee did that very well, and didn't continue to escalate the situation or try to explain anything. The player knows what they did, and they understand what they did, and they're being held accountable for it. And you held them accountable for it, and then you move on.
exactly. The referee stands to just make this worse by talking at the player. The player knows he's gone, as you acknowledged. The player's walking off. Don't call this player back on just to tell them what they did wrong. They know.
It
So
doesn't need to be that Progressive Insurance commercial, right? Where you turn into your parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it, move on.
And also you can read the body language of all the other players on his team and his coach over there. Coach has got his head down. Teammates are like, oh, again.
Right?
So you can read into those cues.
You just cost us 5 points in this tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. In our home tournament. So yeah, great points. You know, the referee just let it go. The message was sent. Nothing else was needed at that point. So. All right. Well, that's all my video clips. Thanks everybody for really participating in that one. So the theme being win-win. As we go out there, you'll see each morning's briefing being sculpted around this in some way. As we head out there, let's make sure we know we have the power. Everyone knows we have the power. How can we find a way to work with the coaches, with the spectators, with the parents and the players, and show respect and accomplish a safe, fair, fun game that way? This is the theme we're going to keep exploring throughout the year. So the other focus discussions we have, the field sessions and the morning briefings of the games and the mentoring, we're going to stay mindful of this and develop a lot of tools around, let's find a win-win. So I want to thank everybody very much for attending this session and for contributing to it. It is a focused discussion, not a class. And I hope to see the rest of you continuing to attend as we keep offering more and more of these in the weeks and months to come, and also attending our field sessions, which hopefully have a lot of value for you. If you've never tried one, go ahead and give it a shot sometime. But thanks again, everyone.
Can I add this Thursday, we're having a field session, 6 p.m. Camarillo Pleasant Valley Fields, and our topic will be Law 13 and how to create win-win situations.
In Law
Are
13.
we on which side of the park are we on, Cindy?
All right,
Far
I'm
west
gonna
end.
cut off the recording right here, folks, and then we can continue that conversation.